This video is going to be about the Twilight cards and permadeath and all of the rest of those things. So permadeath is optional. I like to play with it personally, but if that's not for you, there are plenty of options which we'll talk about. So the first is that if you should die in the game, then if your cooperative players that are with you, if your friends that still succeed in the game, then you can revive at the end of the game, carry on with them if you wish. You could reset your character to the recommended number of upgrades for the next scenario and continue play, which would enable you to rebuild your character a little bit in a way that you might think is superior, or covers a few more of the diversify your sort of skill set a little bit, so you can cover more ground with your character if that's what you want to get it a bit more well-rounded. Or you might think, no, I just want to make it really potent in one area, or build it slightly differently, and all of those things are then up to you and how you allocate the number of upgrades that you're allowed. Right, so this is your Twilight deck. And this is your Twilight card. The Twilight card means you get into Twilight, which is when one of your stats reduces 0. Generally speaking, actually, if your health is reduced to 0. So you're going to go into the middle section on this card, right? Now, at the moment, we're using the soul token there to represent you. And you can use the 3s, the 5s, and the 10s and put a marker by your characters so that you know which ones are which. If you have a situation where many of you are in Twilight at the same time, you can't have a situation where all 4 heroes are in Twilight at the same time, because that's actually one of the defeat conditions. That's a loss condition on every scenario. If you're all in Twilight at once, you're gone. Exception is solo. You've got a sprig of acacia. You get a complete revive that burns the sprig of acacia. The next time you go into Twilight, if you do die and you go into the light, you've lost the game. Obviously, you're going to be drawing cards there to try and come back. It's very, very difficult when you're on your own. So that's why you get that sprig of acacia. Now, this number on the side of the Twilight card is the value of the test that you're going to have to pass in order to move one step closer to your body. And if you fail, you move one step closer to the light. And if you fail from this zone here on this card, you're going into the light, and that is permadeath. Now, when you get stricken and you go down into 0, you're going to lay your miniature down in the tile. If you're in solo mode, you're going to burn that sprig of acacia. So you're just going to stand straight back up again. I wouldn't even bother laying it down. But give yourself that hand of dice, which is a game term. So you would use your hand of dice. You're going to generate your results. On an average, you're going to get 2 combats. If you get 2 combats, that's 2 successes. And you're going to add +1 success to that hand of dice when you revive. So on average, you're going to come back with 3 health, which is still a dire situation to be in, to be fair. But other heroes around you can help you, and this is a really important aspect of play. You draw the card at the start of the round. You draw it immediately in solo and deal with it immediately. There's no point, because you're not going to have other people coming to help you. So some of these cards won't be in the deck in solo. In co-op, of course, they all will. Now, some of these cards allow for other heroes to come and help you in some way. It could be by sacrificing activation cubes of a certain nature. It could be that they have a card that could come in and help you if they cast a spell, or if they say a prayer over you, or something like this. So that can happen. So when you draw a card at the start of the round, you're going to get something like this, which is Door of Night. Now, Door of Night's got a bit of flavour text. And you can see on this one quite early on, it's bolded. If you have less than 6 faith, you're going to make no will test this turn. And what that refers to is that this number is the number of successes you need on a will test. And if you succeed, like I said, you make that step towards your body. If not, you go towards the light. So if you do have less than 6 health, 6 faith, you would then progress to the next part of the card. And if not, you're just going to make a regular test. So with that being the case, you know now what your conditions are for that game round. And if you do revive during the round, you will have generated your hand of dice of activation cubes at the start, just in case you revive. So you could actually bring some enemies into play if you start acting straight away after that, which is an interesting and an important point. So let's assume you've made your test and you've got 3 successes on your will test. You move 1 step towards your body. Now let's assume that on the next turn you pass that, you're going to get your revive roll, which, like I said, on average you're going to come back with 3 health. But your body can be healed by other heroes in your zone. So if the Fame Priest is there, or any of the other characters that have got some means of healing you, most of the heroes have got something that they can do to help, or at least try. you'll come back. And of course, if you fail, you go there, and if you fail again, permadeath. Sorry about that. Right. So let's assume you're in this zone, and you actually get 5 successes. Well, in this instance, 3 plus 2 plus, that's 5 successes. You can actually pass straight back into your body. And again, this is a 4 plus. Now, if you were somehow able to get 9 successes, boom, you're going to go straight back into your body. Right, I think that pretty much concludes how the Twilight deck works. Obviously, this is currently the size of the deck. We were going to have 6 more tarot size cards covered as a stretch goal quite early on. That's unlikely now, but it would increase the costs of every aspect of the production to continue to increase sizes of decks and things like this. However, you can see, if I just show the camera there, that all of these have got text on, and they are all finished, and they have all been play tested, and so they're all ready to go. Thanks very much for your time.